let me tell you something, and this is for my recovering codependents, okay? And I'm like, listen, I'm just sharing some lessons because I'm frustrated. But I've been dealing with some backdoor. I feel like, like people, I feel like some people overuse this word, you know, especially on social media and stuff. But I'm using it because I truly believe that this is what I've dealt with. Backdoor narcissists. Back fucking door narcissists. It is so, like, you know, as a codependent, like, you go to therapy, you do all of your work to recognize the red flags, and you're just like, when I see these red flags blatantly, I am going to do something about it and not let myself get played again. But then there's backdoor. I feel like there's fucking backdoor narcissists or manipulators or whatever. And these fucking people, I tell you, I feel like they're able, I'm not a fucking psychiatrist or psychologist. I'm just presenting my findings and my observations. I feel like these people are able to act like good friends and like good, like healthy people for just long enough for you to have enough faith in them. Like they're able to suppress the red flag behavior just long enough for you to get comfortable and be like, this is a safe person. So when the red flags fucking pop up, you forgive them so, like, you don't even realize that you're fucking doing it. But you do the shit again. You do the shit where you know the red flag and you just kind of dismiss it. But at least this time, it's not the same. At least this time, it's not like, well, not everybody's perfect, you know, like, and just excuse away the behavior. At least you make note that it is a red flag and you're just like, okay, we're going to monitor this because, you know, don't want to go through this again. But you're still not really doing anything about it, right? Like, you're still just letting it sit there, full on, like, aware that it's there. They make you, I feel like there's just people that just make you feel comfortable enough with them until, and then the red flags start to come out and start to come out. And because you've done the work, you note them as red flags and kind of keep track, and you're like, okay, that's another red flag, that's another red flag. But again, because you've been made to feel so comfortable with them in the beginning, you also still are kind of forgiving the behavior. You're still sticking around, you know? And when the fallout happens, it's not gonna be as painful as it was for you in the past when you've dealt with this. But it's but you're still in there. You're still in the clutches, you know what I mean? You're still fucking there, and you don't realize that you're in it kind of until it's too late, but kind of when you start, like everything you do, you think, oh, what is this person gonna think about it? You know, like you never realized that they were moving furniture into your brain one by one to live in there rent free. So every time a situation comes up, you know, or you have to do something or make a choice or something, like the first thing that pops into your head is like, I wonder what so-and-so will think. And that's a fucking moment I realized, I'm like, oh my God, something is wrong. Because that's how I used to think with my fucking dad. I used every life decision, I'd be like, oh, is this gonna make my dad mad at me? Is this gonna make my dad love me? any less. And that's how you start to fucking feel with these type of people. You start to, you get that feeling of, oh my God, if I don't make the right decision, if I don't do the right thing, that's the specific thing that's going to make them happy, that's going to make them pleased with me, they're going to hate me, and I'm going to feel like a bad person. If this person does not, if I don't do things this person's exact way, then I'll be a bad person. And oh my God, realizing that you've fallen back into that shit is one of the worst fucking things in the world. Like you start saying no to things. You start taking yourself out of the game. You start making yourself smaller, to make them comfortable, something that you swore that you'd never do. And from the outside, it may not seem that way to people because you're doing pretty well, but you know the ways in which you're making yourself smaller. You know the ways in which you're sacrificing so much, to make this, to make sure that this person is pleased and placated all of the fucking time. And then you start getting the fucking sick feeling every time you text them, every time you're physically around them, every time anytime you have to have any type of conversation, anytime you ask a question, anytime you might slightly disagree on something, disagree on things that don't matter, mind you, not like big issues like racism and sexism, shit like that, and whether Kanye is out of his mind or not, shit like that, just little things are gonna turn into a situation in which you feel like a dumbass. All of a sudden it's like you realize how long you have altered your existence to be for this backdoor narcissist that was just just able to be just safe enough for just long enough for you to let down your guard. And like I said, the fallout is not as turbulent as past ones, but holy shit, sitting with that realization after it's all over, looking back and realize, just really plotting the points, it's so maddening. It's so frustrating. It is so angering. I can't eat, it's so, and it comes in waves, right? Because you don't get all of them at once. One day you'll wake up and you'll remember and you'll realize one more thing, one more red flag that you just let go, one more red flag that you decided to monitor instead of ignore, right? But you still allowed it. Right? You still endured the red flag. So fucking angry. I hope I do better. I hope I do better in the future. I endeavor to do better in the future. But for my recovering codependents, let me just fucking say, and I don't know, maybe this is something that you have to learn on your own, and it's a pain that you have to experience for you to actually learn the lesson. It is so cold in here. Maybe that's what it has to be. But if there is not an opportunity for you to skip the shit that I've had to go through, when you see a fucking red flag, and I've said this before, I've said it, but now I really mean it. I meant it back then, but now I really mean it. Bruv, when you see a red flag, don't excuse it away, and don't just monitor it. Do whatever you have to do to slowly walk away, or just cut it off at the head. I'm telling you, save yourself some fucking trouble. Slowly back away, or just cut it off at the head. Don't just ignore it. And don't just monitor it. Don't just take note that it exists. Like, please save yourself some grief and fucking do something about it. This might make some of you guys mad, and this might be a whole nother video, but for some reason, I'm saying one red flag, especially in femme people, I've noticed, is when somebody self-labels themselves an empath. I know that's going to make a lot of people mad, but I swear to God, like I said, this could be a whole other video. People that, especially women, femme people, that label themselves empaths, that's like, I'm an empath. It's like the same as I'm a nice guy. I know it's been said before. It's the same as I'm a nice guy. The people that self-label themselves empaths have been the most destructive people in my fucking life. This is gonna be a whole nother video. When they, what's another one? Just like, I don't know, like even just the feeling, like I said, like just the gut feeling of just feeling so sick and nervous, and your anxiety is up whenever you're around them or have to communicate with them. Like, that feeling is real, man. Like, it is not dramatic. That shit is fucking real. My God, listen to it. Listen to it. Listen to it. When you start talking, when you're talking to them and when they're talking to you, it doesn't feel like they're talking to you. It feels like they're talking at you. And then when you talk to them, it's just dead eyes. It seems like they'd rather be anywhere else rather than listening to you, or they're just waiting for you to shut up so they can continue to talk. Or if you had like that shit, it's such a cold feeling. Like, I'm just telling you guys, I'm just saying, I've debated making this video, but I think it's valuable information. Backdoor narcissists, like, they're also very good at, continuously making themselves the victim in any possible situation. And I'm not talking about when we talk about systemic victims, like, you know what I mean, like that shit. Like, no, like going to extreme lengths to present themselves in a way of like, oh, look at me, oh my God, I am so pitiful. It's not in a way of like, we need justice and like, no, you guys need to do better because we're being mistreated. No. It's like, oh, poor, fuck that shit. Backdoor narcissists. Beware, they're out there.